So, hi everyone. Today is the day where I'm going to be scoring my arrangement of O Holy Night. So, first things first, tea is in order, MIDI keyboard, mouse, very important, digital audio workstation, my fabulous speakers that I got on a very special deal, light, because it can get a little bit on your eyes when you're doing this bit. Now, believe it or not, even though this is the lengthiest part, okay, this is the bit that I really, really enjoy. So I am here, just hiding on camera. So when I come to do the arrangements, as you know, because I've done quite a few videos on these, this is the best bit that I like because I've recorded the vocals, which I use. So just to let you know that a long time ago, I was actually fully into Apple products and Apple phone, Apple iWatch, everything, you name it. But sometimes it used to come a cropper when I used to do some of my music. Now, I absolutely loved working with recording my vocals and everything, and I wanted a program that was really easy for me, and I tried several different ones, Reaper, Pro Tools, you name it. But when I actually came to Logic, it was so user friendly because before I paid for this, I used to use GarageBand, which was free, and this just works for me. I love it. So going back to what I just said about a minute ago, I have actually gone over now to Android, so Chromebook and everything like that, and that also works for me so well. But I'm not getting rid of Logic. A, I paid for it, and B, it just works for me. I just love it. So I keep the trusty old Mac for my music. One day I might get a Chromebook and I might, a digital audio, sort of like a Reaper or Pro Tools or something, and just try it. But I don't know. Once you know how a program works, you just stick with it. And MacBooks, I have to say, are pretty robust. So if anything happens to the MacBook, then I'm in stump really. Already has to always have its power cable in, but never mind, we'll deal with that another day. So I have my lovely arrangement of O Holy Nights. It's just testing things. Everything works well, really, really well. And often when I come to do my arrangements for my choirs, I 9 times out of 10 use the karaoke tracks. Why not? They're brilliant. I tend to use instrumental backing track ones so I don't get all the backing singers on there because that can sometimes give you a false impression of what you have with your choir. But depending on the track and pending it, it can also add a little in your favour. So now I've got that working, I then go back to my trusty program, Sibelius. Now, a lot of people use different ones. I use Sibelius. Some people use Cakewalk. I think that's still rocking around somewhere. Other people use, what's that other famous one? I can't think of it now. Anyway, it'll come back to me. And I have always worked with Sibelius. So when I arranged music for the marching bands, I used to love using Sibelius. It works for me, and everything is cushy, as they say. So now what I've got to do is get my MIDI board connected. Now, because I don't have much memory on here, I don't use the full potential of the Sibelius sounds. I used to until the MacBook was going a little bit upside down. So I've had to resort in just using the general MIDI sounds. And many music people I've spoken to over the years, they say, oh, why are you doing that? It doesn't give you full sound, but the thing is I'm only using Sibelius for my notation. I use a lot of my work with Logic where I've got all the sounds and everything. So if I was doing a completely different arrangement that wasn't to do with my choirs, like a band, a brass band arrangement of something or something else, then I would then uninstall Sibelius, reinstall it, find and download, I think it takes 24 hours, all of the Sibelius sounds, and then I would have them all. So a voice would sound like a voice, a trumpet would sound like a trumpet. But in my choir arrangements, because I'm singing to karaoke backing tracks, I only need to have the piano and I just need to have the voice coming through. And that's good enough for me for what I do. And like I said, it all depends on what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be using it for. And I'm a firm believer of having the right stuff for what you need. There's no point me having everything that sings and dances when I ain't going to use it for a while. So that's what I'm going to do. So now this is the bit that I love. So it's got to happen one way or another. One way or another. I get you jiggy. Yeah, okay, I get the point. So I used to, and sometimes on the odd occasion still do, I write and arrange the music first. I'll go onto the piano and I'll work out some harmonies and then I'll get drafting. Might use pen and manuscript very occasionally now. Do I ever do that? I literally, excuse me, I'm just going to stop my cat. Wait, go, stop licking, stop licking. And I literally am more and more now about doing the live creativity and then coming to score. Very rarely now do I do it the other way around. I have done it this way around, and these are the benefits. So if I think I've got a great arrangement for Oh Holy Night in my head, I'll draft down the tune, I'll be doing the arrangements, and then when I come to record my vocals, I've got manuscript to look at. Right? You would think that that'd be great because then I haven't got to tidy anything. But where I'm doing the creativity side first here on Logic with no musical notation, none of the voices have manuscript. I think you can, and I don't think I've looked into it yet, but I think you can actually turn these into MIDI instruments and then you get the notation and then you get the musical score. Possibly, I'm not too sure, but I'm quite capable with my music qualifications that I have and gifted in this department to listen to what I've done and to jot it down. I've been very good at that. And marching band days, do you remember tape players? Yay! I used to have a tape, and they used to give me what they wanted, a 15-minute show, and I used to write for the brass and the pit percussion, and I used to have to literally go rewind, play, listen to it, jot it down, rewind, play, listen to it, jot it down. And then in came CDs. I was born in 75. Tea, always need tea. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. Difficulty with CDs was okay, but play and rewind and play and pause was so much easier on a little tape deck. Oh my god, so much easier. And then I used to have to do that, and then so I really love, and I'm quite capable of, and gifted, I don't know if that's the right word, or whether I've just worked hard in my music educational life to be quite good at it, where I can hear what I've done or hear what's to be done and score it. Marching band days, I would make up all the melodies in my head here, and then I would draft it down on score, whereas I've already got it here. But remember, it's only the vocals that I'm putting down here, yeah? So this is for my choirs, because I'm putting both of my choirs together, and they can have sheet music if they want to, which goes down a treat sometimes. The downside with just having lyrics is I understand, and I'm not against it, but you have to kind of map the musical score on the lyrics, and it can get really confusing. It's just as easy to say, look, you can see where the other parts are singing on a musical score. But I do understand, I do get it, and another time. Excuse me. So this is where, when I've drafted it through, I've played around with the voices a little bit. I'm thinking to myself, right, obviously I've just got the tune, I've just written voice here for the tune and harmony and soprano harmony. So I'm going to have a little listen and I'm going to think to myself, okay, which ones do I want to have the score for? The tune. Now, when I come to do my arrangements, again, I just love doing this part. I always think about what I've got in front of me. So for this particular song, I've got my two choirs coming together. However, I'm going to picture my worst case scenario. All right. And my worst case scenario in front of me is probably about, say, 10 or 12 people maximum, worst case scenario. And I would probably say more heavier on the sopranos than the altos. And my tenors all weighs out evenly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to picture one of my choirs in front of me, and I'm going to think to myself, right, I know that if it was just this choir singing, and we only had 12 people, which section would I like to have the tune? Because the tune always needs to be quite strong. So that's what I then tend to think about doing. Okay, so let's just have a little listen here what I've got going on, okay? Early night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Saviour's birth. So there, I've got a funny feeling that that's the first time that my sopranos, it's as if I own them. That's the first time the sopranos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to see what is happening with my sopranos and I like to have the track just to give a little bit of bass. Let's see what that's singing. That's the tune, isn't it? Brightly shining, it is the night of the dear. And then they're going to rise up. So I know that the sopranos have a bit of the tune there. Harmony, because I don't know where I'm going to put that harmony yet. So let me have a listen to see what's happening here. Early night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Saviour's birth. So I've obviously done a harmony band there. So this is where I just get my Chromebook up and get that ready, just to make sure the lyrics tie together. So what I've got here then is I've got some harmony. Now that could be tenors, so I'm going to make a decision in a minute. And now let me see what I've got going on up here. So let's just listen here. The tune, isn't it? The stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Saviour's birth. Yeah, so I just backed it up there with the sopranos. I've actually just realised I've only got two doing the tune there, so I'm going to need to record another couple of that later. That's nothing. The purpose of today's scoring. So I think I'm going to give the tune here to the altos, and then I'm going to have that slightly lower bit there for the tenors. I do like the tenors to sometimes have the tune and the altos take the harmony. So I might swap it round in a bit. So I'm just going to break this here, because then I know that is the... Should have tidied up this part of Logic before I came here, but it doesn't matter. So now what I'm going to be thinking of is I'm just going to swap it round. So I'm going to go back to the score. So I've already set out my things here. Soprano and soprano. So I've got here like a soprano descant maybe, or whether just have soprano 1 just for this moment in time, and soprano 2, so upper and mezzo, and alto and tenor. I'll make a decision if I'm actually going to be using 2 soprano parts. I don't think I do. If I do, I can split it. So what I might do is take that out. I don't know if you can see me doing this. Take it out. Let me just see if I can just bring you a little bit close. I don't know if that gives you a better... Sorry if you can't really see that, can you? I can try. Hang on. I'm not sure if that's any better or any worse, actually, to be fair. So, don't know if you can see, well, if you can't see it, then when I watch it back, I know how to improve it for the next video. Or just comment and let me know. So, I'm going to make a decision. So what I'm going to do is, to save time, and I'm just going to pop that in there so it's all done. I like to write in panoramic view as well. And I know I've got to tidy up the lyrics as well, because Sibelius sometimes does strange thing with lyrics, so I'm going to sort all that bit out. But for the time being, okay, look what's happened here. Look, it's got some crazy bits going on. I just want to, what's happened here? What have I done now? See, this is the problem. When I start messing around with things, it goes a bit Python. It's my own fault for messing around. There we go, that's a little bit better. I'm just going to select all and just select the lyrics. Where are they? Why is it whenever... no, it's not that one, is it? Ah, there we are. I'm just going to squish them down a bit. Now I've got the other lyrics playing a little bit of. So if I now select all and go to lyrics line 2. Okay, all right, I'll sort that out later. It's left my lyrics there. Don't need to have dynamics in for this moment in time. So actually, I think what I'm going to do is, because they're going to get on my nerves, I'm going to take out all the lyrics. I'm wondering if this is going to come under expression text. No, I can't seem to. Technique text, there it is. Right, we've got now. I like to work with putting the lyrics in later. It's not an onerous task. It's quite nice to do. So now I can copy and paste that for prime example. Just scoop this back, sort all that out. Decide, because obviously tenor is an 8 octave down difference. Move that out of the way just for now. So I like to work with nothing in my way. And get my view. So this little setup that I have here can just sometimes take a while, but once I'm set up, I'm done. I've got a funny feeling I've got to transpose. Oh, I'm there. Yeah, so I'm just using my, I'm just going to move it back a little bit so you can get to see the keyboard if you can. There you go. So now got my keyboard connected as well. I'm just now going to transpose. Oh my. That took a long time. Not to transpose it, I couldn't work out where my transpose function was. And like I said, because I don't use Mac much, I had to find the shortcut, which is Shift and T, and it brings up your transpose button when you select it all. That set me back a little bit. So now I've identified my key and I've got my notation now being there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my mixer. Again, remember, I'm just using basics here. So what I want to do is I want to just bring up the volume a little bit more. So just for quick fixes, I just want to bring this there. If I can just move my slider along just so I can hear the, of course that's coming out really loud now, isn't it? So bring that down a bit. Okay, that's great. Haven't set any tempo yet, but I will do, because that's not, I want it to go a little bit faster. So I've established that it's getting quite hot here, so I've had to take the power cable out. Please don't die on me, Mac. First things I then do is I then save, because I have been bitten on the bum, so to speak, and many, God, I sound like that man out of Police Academy, many times where it's just crashed. Sometimes it does, doesn't it? Just crashes and you just go, I've just lost an entire 5 or 6 or however many hours worth of work. Oh, anyway, that's quite painful to dive back into, because I've done quite a few things like that in the past. So if you see me over saving, it's only because what happens. Right, so I've decided that I'm going to have the tune happening and my altos, my tenors are going to take the harmony. So this is where I just select my tenors. This harmony moves around a little bit, so I just want to see where they are. Okay. So we're starting on a B flat, so I'm just going to move this down a minute. So just give me that, just give me something to work with. Holy night, the stars are bright, shine. Now, because I did my own vocals, I can kind of remember what I did a couple of weeks ago. Holy night, darling night, the stars are brightly, brightly, the stars are brightly shining, shining, stars are brightly shining. Is that right? Brightly. Yeah, I thought it was. See, was going from an E flat there, and that was a D there. So I'm now just going to sort out the time signature parts, and I'll bring you back a little bit later. Okay.